One fan base, one city, one team brings us all together. The Cleveland Browns. If you're a Browns fan, this podcast is for you. Welcome to Down with the Browns.
And welcome back to another episode of Down with the Browns. I'm here with my co-host, Jacob Carroll. Jake from Stat Farm. What's up, brother?
Not too much, man. Glad to be here.
Yes, sir. We're live in the same location. It's a rare occurrence, but we're here to give a little game breakdown for the Week 15 matchup for the Browns versus the Bears.
Yep.
And it's going to should be a good one for the home team. I'm expecting a win tonight. But we got a lot of breakdown over this matchup here today, and then along with all of the AFC games going on today. So, Jake, before we get into it, what is one thing that when you looked over all the stats, got into it a little deeper, what's one thing that stood out for you in this matchup here today?
As far as stats wise, we know that the Bears, technically, according to the numbers, Bears do have the second best run defense in the league right now.
Mm-hmm.
But you take the teams that they've played, most of them are primarily passing teams, and they've not really faced a rushing attack like ours.
Yeah.
So I expect us to pound the ball early, especially with the rain right now that's hit Cleveland. I expect us to run, go into some play action here and there. It'll be a pretty good game for Jerome Ford, hopefully.
Yeah, it should be. I'm expecting something big from him because he's not had a good game in a few weeks.
Right.
I mean, Kareem Hunt's been getting us all the touchdowns in the running back department with 7. Jerome Ford, I mean, he leads the team right now with 886 yards, I believe.
Yep.
Or 98 yards, my apologies.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, he's not been getting after it here lately. Like, I mean, the last few weeks, he's not had above 50 yards.
Right.
So we need him to break out, have about 60 to 70, maybe a touchdown. We need to have that running attack going tonight.
Yep.
And, you know, we've got a lot of guys in the chat joined. Let's go. Yes, sir. Thank you guys for tuning in. We appreciate that. But, yeah, some things I got down that I jotted down last night was I just went over who led the team in stats. So, for the Bears offense, Justin Fields, 1,810 yards, 1,810 yards passing, 13 passing touchdowns with a completion percentage of 63.5. He also leads the team in rush yards with 458 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 5.1 yards per carry.
There you go.
DJ Moore leads the team in receiving yards.
Yep.
1,071 yards, 7 touchdowns, averaging 14.1 per catch.
Yep.
So that last one I just said, that one stands out really big to me.
Yeah, and it's interesting to know what the stats would be within the last 4 games because the Bears have won 3 out of the last 4 games, and they are playing better than what they were easily at the beginning of the season. They're not the same team that they were at the beginning of the season. They are improving. Justin Fields is still, the same quarterback that he was at Ohio State, if not better. And of course, that coach is trying to play for his job. I'm assuming he still thinks he has a chance in Chicago, but assuming they go on a win streak, he may keep the job next year. So they're doing everything they can to win every single game. So.
Yeah, Matt Eberflus is fighting for his job right now. So if he's fighting for a big win over a good team, and this would be a statement win for him.
Right.
If you can go in around the league, renowned as the best defense in the league, if you can beat us, then it's going to look good for him to be like, hey, look, we beat the Browns.
That's true.
So, I mean, they're going to be
on
coaching,
the road.
Yeah, on the road in the dog pound where the Browns defense plays their best.
Yep.
Going to the Browns defense, Montez Sweat leads the pack with 10 sacks, 44 tackles, 2 fumbles forced.
Yeah.
TJ Edwards leads the team in tackles with 131 tackles, 2 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, 4 pass deflections. So he'll have that middle of the field covered up really well.
That is true.
And then Jalen Jackson, 4 picks, 9 pass deflections, 28 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss.
Yep. Jalen right now is first in the league on PFF for cornerbacks right now. So expect him to guard Cooper and expect a lot of our passes to go to other players to try and take the pressure off Cooper because of Jalen.
Yeah, and I think that you'll see a lot of. I think the ball's going to go to Njoku a lot because you saw that connection last week. But they will have TJ Edwards guarding him, so I think we're in for a good matchup today because that Bears defense is nothing to scoff at.
That is true. That is true. Which I don't think that they've played as powerful of an offensive line as the Cleveland Browns, even though we're down to third string players.
Yeah.
And they've not really played the running game that we have. We're very two-dimensional, and people tend to forget that with what Joe Flacco's done over the past 2 weeks. But I expect us to be two-dimensional against this team, and it's going to keep the Bears defense on their heels for sure.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the way the schematics are with Stefanski's offense and the way everybody pulls and pushes, it's a beauty. It's a beauty, Clark. And, it's it's going to open up some holes. Hopefully, our running backs hit these holes. I'm expecting us to see a little bit more from Pierre Strong today.
Yeah.
Because, like I said earlier, Jerome Ford's been struggling in the run department, and Pierre Strong has that burst. It's just after he gets touched, he doesn't break off. And I think that fumble from the Denver game still they're kind of still looking at that a little bit. But I think he may get a few more carries than he normally gets today. Just so they can get that extra burst at the running back position.
I agree.
And some of the injury reports from this game, I saw as we're recording this, it is still 8 a.m. So they've not released officially who's going to be in, who's going to be out.
Right.
But as of right now, Anthony Walker is questionable. Denzel Ward is questionable. Jordan Elliott's questionable. Okoronkwo is out. Jordan Kunask is out. Ethan Posich is out. And Juan Thornhill is out today, too.
So Thornhill is officially out?
Yeah, he's out.
Okay.
They announced that yesterday, I think.
And a lot of those other guys are questionable, which the Posick injury doesn't bother me as much because Nick Harris will be taking that spot.
Yeah.
And he, of course, spent an offseason a couple of years back training for that position. So I feel like he'll be ready. The only downside of that is you won't have him at fullback.
Yeah.
And that would have been a very big addition to today's game plan with the rain.
Yeah.
Denzel, I feel like if he wants to prove people what he can do, what he's made of, today is the day for him to do that against DJ Moore. That would be the perfect opportunity to prove to people, hey, I'm still here. I'm still contributing to this team.
Yeah. I mean, Denzel's locked down. Whenever he's out there, he just dominant. I mean, he leads the team in, I think, passer rating, maybe other than Martin Emerson, which he's been locked down this year.
Yeah.
But having him there would just help out so much because you could put Martin Emerson on the 2,
right?
Which they are limited at the wide receiver position today. I'm not for sure how big of a role St. Brown plays, but he is out. Noah Swell is out. Jaquan Brisker, he is questionable.
Okay.
And DJ Moore is questionable. Not for sure what with, but I saw that on the injury report yesterday.
I see DJ Moore playing through whatever injury he has because
he's a dog.
And he's trying to play for his job as well. Even if he doesn't play in Chicago next year, which, I mean, he still could. We don't know. If Chicago doesn't sign him to a new deal or something next year, he could easily go somewhere else. And he's trying to play for what could potentially be a Super Bowl contending team.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we really need Denzel today. I think that would help out so much.
Agreed.
Just to lock down DJ Moore. If we can just get, I think you have a little tidbit on the last time the Browns and the Bears played.
Oh yeah, last time we played, it was 2021. That's when we wore the 75th anniversary jerseys, right? And Garrett got 4 sacks. Our team as a whole had 9 in that game, 4.5 from Garrett. Defense played lights out in that game. But again, of course, this is not the same Bears team. They're a lot better. They have a lot better players, but better coaching staff. It's not going to be as easy as it was last time. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. And which he was going against, who was it? It was it Jason Peters? Is that who he was going against?
I'm not sure exactly who he was up against, but whoever he's going to be up against today will more than likely be better. I would imagine Braxton Jones. Not the best PFF grade. I think he's kind of middle of the line as far as tackles go.
Yeah.
Now, they do have a pretty good center. I can't remember his name. They do have a pretty good guard. I can't remember his name either. But I don't think that they faced a defensive line like this, even without Jordan Elliott out, even without Maurice Hurst not playing. It's going to be a challenge for him. I truly believe that. And that's, of course, you've got Garrett and, of course, Zadarius Smith on the outside. I think it's going to be a lot of pressure for him. If we can put pressure on Justin Fields, I think we can disrupt him.
And you just got to be able to contain him because he, like I said earlier, he leads their team in rushing yards. So, I mean, we got to contain him in the pocket. We got a question. It's from Reese Music, I think, or Muzak. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry, brother. It says, what amount of points you think the Browns offense needs to put up today to win?
With a game like today and the weather, I would imagine 17. If the weather does clear up and the ball starts getting thrown around some, maybe 21, 24, maybe.
All right, so I'm gonna go a little bit more. I'm gonna say 28 solidifies it. I think if we can get to 28, I think that's perfect because, like you said, the weather. But there is one man, Joe Flacco, fever, Flacco-mania. He's gonna be tossing the rock for the Browns today. He's gonna be just throwing it. Don't matter where it's going. It's gonna be a complete pass and probably a touchdown.
There you go.
Greatest quarterback ever. Don't matter the weather. He could be thrown in a volcano and it's still gonna be a completion.
Oh my God.
Could be in Antarctica, just snow everywhere. He's still going to throw a completion. But I think Joe Flacco, where he has been accustomed to this weather, raised in Jersey, played in Baltimore forever. Pretty much everywhere he's played, it's been in cold weather.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to be fine putting up points today through the air because, like you said, they have a really good run defense.
Yep.
And I'm hoping we get the run game going today. Yep. But if we have to rely on Joe Flacco to put up the points, that's fine with me because I think he can do it.
Yeah, their run defense is statistically second in the league, but I don't think that they've faced a rushing attack like ours. And I feel like we need to slowly get back to that. Past couple of games, we've passed a lot. And, of course, we were supposed to against the teams we were playing. And they've got Jalen Johnson, Chicago does. So, I mean, they do have key players. So, weather, I think, will be a factor. But, of course, Flacco's been used to it. So, we'll find out here in a few hours, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully we get a good matchup. So I've got the spread pulled up, and I've got the over-under for this matchup today.
Okay.
The spread is ±3 points. So if you don't know what that means, the plus means that you think it's going to be within 3 points. So if you are a betting person, if it's between 1, 2, and 3 points, you're solid. But if it goes above that, goes 4, 5, 6 plus on that, then you've lost your bet. So the plus minus, I think it's going to be a minus. I think we win by a touchdown today. I think it's going to be 28-21. The over-under is set at 37.5. So they're expecting a low-scoring game today.
Sure.
But I think we hit the over. Like I said, I think it's going to be 28-21.
Yeah.
And I think the Browns, not the Bears.
Right.
The Browns are on top.
Yeah. Yep. You know so much about that spread stuff. Like I just defer to you for all of that. When anyone says anything about spread, it just basically goes over my head.
Yeah, it took me forever to I just learned what the plus minus was just a few weeks ago. Had somebody break it down because I really did not understand it, but I finally understand it now.
Yeah.
You got any more tidbits on this game?
On this particular game, no. Just really the only thing I can say is, the pressure is low now. It's not like it's a must-win game. It's a win that really puts us in the right direction, but is it a win that we have to have? No, but if we do win today, that really puts the rest of the season in good terms.
Yeah.
If you guys were watching last night, Steelers lost, Broncos lost. That were two teams that we really needed to lose.
Yeah.
We wanted the Bengals to lose, but that doesn't really hurt us that they won.
Because we have the tiebreaker.
Because we do have the tiebreaker. But as far as the Steelers and Broncos go, those two losses really helped us last night.
Oh, yeah, because I think Pittsburgh falls out of wild card contention now.
Depends
on the games today.
Depending on the games today, yes, which they're not eliminated from postseason, but that loss really put them on the back burner.
And it's crazy how taut the AFC North is right now. I mean, you've got the Ravens 10-3, I believe.
Yep.
10-3. You got us at 8-5 right now.
Yep.
Hopefully 9-5 after tonight's game or today's game.
Yep.
The Bengals are 8-6.
Mm-hmm.
Steelers are 7-7 right now. So I think you have a path to the playoffs for the Browns, don't you?
Well, I don't really have a path to the playoff, really. I know if we win today and we win next week, then for sure it's looking really good for us as far as percentages. If you go through a lot of these media outlets, TV platforms, most of them have us at anywhere between 75% to 85% chance of making the postseason, according to, just analytics and all that stuff. A win today would vastly improve those numbers to at least high 80s, low 90s.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a win that we want to have, nothing that we have to have. But you look at all these other teams right now that are currently 7-6 or now 7-7.
Yeah.
You've got, which the Broncos are now 7-7, the Steelers are now 7-7, but the Texans aren't technically going anywhere. I know CJ Stroud's out; they're not going anywhere. We've got them next week.
Yep.
The Bills have the Cowboys. If they win that game, that's a big statement win that gives them a lot of confidence. So they're also 7-6 as well. There was some more 7-6.
Let me see. I've got them all wrote down actually right here. Let's see. I've got all the games for today wrote down.
Yeah. We want to root for the Titans, of course. We want to root for the Cowboys, of course. And we want to root for the Jaguars, of course.
Yep. So Cowboys and Bills play, Ravens and Jaguars play tonight.
Yeah, those are the three big games for today. And sadly, we've got to root for the Steelers next week. That is something I am not looking forward to because they play the Bengals next week, Saturday at 4:30 on NBC. And the Bengals currently have an 8-6 record. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's tough. That's gonna break my heart to have to do that. But
yeah.
Around the league, I've got all the spreads, records,
there you go.
and over and unders for each game. I'll just ask you. We'll do a quick rundown throughout the league. I've got them all down. Bucks at Packers. The Bucks are 6-7. The Packers are 6-7.
Yeah.
The spread is 3.5. The over under is 42.5. It's a big game.
And let's not forget that both of those teams are currently in playoff contention.
Yeah, that's a big
with
fight.
6-7 records. The Bucks have a
the-
chance of making it as a division lead. The Packers have a chance as a wild card.
Yeah.
6-7. That's just crazy.
And then Texans at Titans. Texans are 7-6. Titans are 5-8. Spread is Tennessee -3.5. Over under is 36.5.
As Kentucky fans, we'll be rooting for Will Levis today against the Texans. Absolutely.
And then Jets at Dolphins. Jets are 5-8. Dolphins are 9-4. Spread is 37.5. And it is Miami -8.5.
And that game doesn't really have any
What's up, Drew?
pertainance to us as far as playoff hopes and stuff go. So,
Yeah. And then Chiefs 8-5. Patriots 3-10. Kansas City 8. Over under is 37.5.
Yeah.
Oh, we didn't pick winners for each of these games. Bucks and Packers. I've got the Packers.
Yeah, I've got the Packers too because they've got a lot more to play for. The Bucks, I mean, they could lose, and I'd say somehow they would still be in the division lead with the 6-8 record.
Yeah.
So Packers are playing for a lot more right now.
Texans at Titans.
Texans and Titans. I'm just going to be biased and say Titans because
Same.
1, I want them to win. 2, they beat the Dolphins at Miami, and that's almost impossible to do.
Yeah.
Is win at Miami, and CJ Stroud is of course out, so I am going Titans in that game.
Yeah, and we've got the Jets at Dolphins. Did we just go over that? Yeah, Jets at Dolphins. No, we just went over Titans.
We didn't do
Texans.
scores.
I've got the Dolphins. I mean,
yeah,
Zach Wilson's played.
Yeah.
So
I mean, Zach Wilson's playing better, but I think the Dolphins are a little mad over what happened last week.
Yeah,
They're going to go on a rampage and try to make a statement. They're still trying to play for the number 1 spot in the AFC, which is very, very possible. So, give me Dolphins in that one for sure.
Yeah, I've got the Dolphins as well. I mean, Zach Wilson's dog poop. I'm sorry.
Yep.
He's horrible.
Yep. No, I'm kidding.
That's
I don't really think Zach Wilson's. Honestly, for the viewers out there, I really don't think. I'm just trying to agree with Christian. Zach Wilson, I don't really think is terrible. He's got a lot of learning to do, but he's going to improve day by day. I think over time, even if the Jets stick with Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson will find a team and be a contributor some way. I don't know if that'll be a major starting quarterback position, but he will be a contributor in years to come.
Yeah, I would rather have Aaron Rodgers throw with his left hand than Zach Wilson. Next game is Chiefs at Patriots. Chiefs.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
The Swifties.
Yeah.
Giants at Saints. I think Tommy DeVito is going to lead the pack.
He's going to lead that pack, but they've got to work on that run defense. And I think Alvin Kamara is going to shock some people. So if you have Alvin Kamara on your fantasy team, you might want to start him because he's going to make a lot of noise. He's going to make a lot of noise.
Yep. And then Falcons at Panthers.
Oh, man.
Falcons.
The Falcons are actually still playing for the division as well.
Well, they take the lead if they win and the Bucks lose.
So they do take the lead
because
if
they would go
win.
to 7-7. Bucks would go to 6-8.
That is correct.
So they're needing that win.
Wow, that's a horse race right there. The NFC South, ladies and gentlemen.
The dog poop division. Commanders at Rams. The Rams have been red hot. Matt Stafford's getting back to his prime again.
Yep.
Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
Hard to stop. Rams.
Yeah, and a Rams win and a Packers loss puts the Rams in the number 7 spot for the NFC playoffs for this week, of course. So the Rams are still playing for the playoffs, and if they were all healthy, they would easily have a winning record, potentially fighting for the number 5 seed or better yet, the division. Yeah,
and then we've got a really close game coming up after that, the 49ers versus the Cardinals.
Oh, yeah. Which,
a barn burner.
When it comes to division games, truly, a lot of these are division games. When it comes to division games, you never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, who knows?
George Kittle Skittles is going to put up a touchdown today, and they're going to win by like 30.
That's what should happen.
Yeah. Cowboys and Bills.
Ooh, that will be a fun one.
The spread is Buffalo minus 2.5. As of yesterday. I don't know if they've updated it since this morning.
Is it at Dallas?
It's at Buffalo.
Ooh, it's at Buffalo.
Yeah.
Ooh, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, we'll see how Dak plays in that cold weather.
Yeah. As Browns fans, we need to root for the Cowboys for our playoff chances because the Bills are playing pretty red hot.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Dallas in that game in a very, very close one. So give me Dallas.
Yeah, Dak's been slinging that thing. He's trying to win MVP, so I think he has a statement game today. I'm going to say 4 touchdowns from Dak Prescott.
Yeah, he's still trying to prove what he's made out of, and so far he's done that.
Yep. And then the biggest game of the night, the Ravens at Jaguars.
And it's at Jacksonville,
Yeah,
correct?
it's at Jacksonville.
Jacksonville's had a little bit of a skid these past few games. They lost to the Bengals, of course, losing to us last week.
Yeah.
And then the Ravens are still trying to keep that number 1. So the Ravens are fighting for the 1, but the Jaguars are still clinging on for that AFC South
spot.
Yeah. So that's going to be, if the Jaguars play like they're capable of, they can win that game. I'm going to be biased on this one as well because you will never catch me rooting for Baltimore ever in any game in NFL history. So, yeah, I guess I'm going to go with Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jacksonville. We need T-Law to show what he did at Clemson. We need him to have that Heisman top.
Yeah, we really do.
Yeah, we need him to go off
today.
And, yeah. Just take the Ravens, fluff them.
Absolutely.
Hope they lose every game.
Absolutely.
But I think that's all I've got note-wise.
Sure.
You want to dig back into the game?
Into our game?
Yeah.
Not necessarily, other than the fact, we just need to win.
Yep.
I mean, really, it don't have to be pretty. I mean, if it's 3-0, it's 3-0. I don't really care at this point. We've been through so much adversity. As long as we win, that's the major stat that matters. So, yeah.
Yeah, but one key note, I mentioned this on the pod whenever we recorded last. I can't remember the date. But Amari Cooper is only 124 yards shy of being the first wide receiver to have back-to-back seasons of 1,000 yards for the Cleveland Browns.
So that's a big milestone to watch. I don't know that he breaks that today, but he'll probably break it in due time.
I think he'll get close.
Yeah.
I think he'll get close. But, yeah, they are wearing the whiteout jerseys today, I believe. The white helmet.
Today?
I think.
I thought it was brown jersey, orange pants.
Is it?
I think so.
I may be wrong on that. Yeah, you're probably right, Jake. I need to look. So, hopefully we're celebrating the dub today.
Yep.
Hopefully we're wearing the Victory Monday shirts.
Yep.
Is that all you've got today, Jake?
That's all I've got for this particular game.
Yep. So we appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for waking up early, drinking your morning coffee. Hopefully we're all juiced up for a big Browns dub today.
There we go.
And as always, go Browns.
Go Browns.
Birds up!